I pushed the go live. Hey, forgive me for that. We had some technical difficulties. Come on back in if you can. Come on back. Come on back. Come on back in. Sorry, we had some technical issues. You know how this stuff goes. We're doing the best we can. I hope I sound better now. Thank you for coming back. Come on back. Come on back. If you're there, let me know you're there. All right. Proverbs chapter 26. Proverbs 26. Proverbs 26, verses 4 and 5. Proverbs 26, verses 4 and 5. Do not answer a fool according to his folly, lest you also be like him. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own eyes. This is the word of God for the people of God. Thanks be unto God. Again, I'm at home because I got to the church and tree fell, hit the power line, power went out. So I loved you all so much until I drove back home in the storm and the rain just to get here on time to share with you the word of God. I want to talk about tonight how to handle a fool. How to handle a fool. How to handle a fool. Um, Mark Twain. Mark Twain said, "It is better to keep your mouth closed and let people think you are a fool than to open it and remove all doubt." Unfortunately, that's what makes a fool a fool. Um, a fool really has a hard time keeping their mouths closed. And that word fool, um, in its original language and meaning in this particular text, simply means stupid. Um, and I'm not trying to be rude, but it's in the Bible. And unfortunately, you will have to deal with some fools. Unfortunately, you will have to deal with some stupid people. Um, that's unfortunate. But how do you handle that? Because anybody besides me ever had to deal with some fools, some some stupid people? Because here is the worst thing, and this is what you must understand when you are dealing with fools, that fools don't know that they're fools. And the hardest people to deal with is people who are stupid and don't know that they're stupid. Because if you're honest, dealing with people who are foolish and who are stupid can actually be extremely frustrating and tiring. Trying to intellectualize with someone who is beneath your intellect or who is simply hell bent on misunderstanding you. And always know if there are some people in who will cross your path, they make up their minds to misunderstand you long before you all meet. They come to the meeting. They answer the phone. They text with the mindset nothing he says or she says will be able to convince me or change how I think, how I feel, or what I say. And so you have to be careful because trying to reason with people like that will literally drain you. Anybody ever had to deal with fools on your job, in your in your family, at church? You do know that there are some fools in the pulpit. There are some fools in the church. There are some fools in the cubicle next to you. There are some fools with your last name and your bloodline, your DNA. And so tonight, for a few minutes, I want to help your frustration because if you aren't careful, that will again drain you and it will deplete you of your joy because again you will literally hate going certain places because a certain person or certain people will be there and their foolishness and their lack of intellect and their lack of um, knowing how to function will frustrate you. It will bother you. People who you are clear in talking to who really can't understand what you're saying. And again, some choose not to understand what you're saying. And so Solomon says to us tonight, verse number 4, he says, do not answer a fool according to his, verse number 4. Do not answer a fool according to his folly, or you yourself will be just like him. That's the Bible. So if you're writing, write this down. Number 1, don't lower yourself to a fool's level. Don't do that. Don't lower yourself to a fool's level. Because guess what? They were a fool before you met them, and they'll be a fool after you leave them. And so what you can't afford to do is you can't afford to lower yourself, especially if you are a leader or not. But in general, don't lower yourself. I've discovered that sometimes the best thing you can do is say okay and goodbye. Okay, goodbye. Thanks. Because most fools like to argue, and most fools are argumentative. And what you do is when you cut them off and say okay, the reply is, "Are you ignoring me?" Yes. I don't have time for that. I mean, I really don't have time to go back and forth with you about something so trivial. I mean, people are dying. Black Americans, Black men are being killed. I don't have time to argue about something that's frivolous. And so what you do is you disarm them because they are geared up for a fight. They are ready to argue. They are ready to go back and forth. Their hearts and their minds are ready to go at it. And when you say, okay, thank you, Okay. I understand. Okay. Listen, you have a great day. Bye. They'll call you back. They'll text you back because guess what? They're ready to fight. But there comes a time when you have to learn how to protect your peace and protect your mental stability. Because watch this, if you lower yourself to where they are, after you all have fussed and cussed 45 minutes, guess what? You still haven't reached them. And now you're frustrated, you're angry, you can't sleep, you're in a foul mood the whole day. You can't eat because this fool has made you angry. And guess what? You can be a fool with an education because some of the worst fools are learned fools who have been to the academy. And so what you have to learn is you can't lower yourself. You have to protect your mind, your space, and your peace. Because some people, watch this, they're miserable. So they want to literally pawn off their misery on you. They want you miserable like them. And so they're sad, they're mad, they're depressed, they've had a bad day. So now they want to argue, they want to fight, they want to bicker about the smallest things. And Solomon says, do not answer a fool, watch this, according to his foolishness. Don't do that. Because sometimes if you aren't careful, you will lower your standard of being a person, a man, a woman, a Christian, a lady. And now you're bickering with somebody who's hell bent on not understanding what you're saying. So don't lower yourself. Don't lower yourself to where they are. Elevate your thinking, elevate your conversation, and make a habit of not entertaining people who you know are going to frustrate you. Do I make sense? If I make sense, talk to me now. You talk to me. I'm trying to make sense, and I'm almost done. So there it is. Don't lower yourself to a fool's level. They want you down in the mud and the muck. They want you cursing and fussing. That's where they want you. But again, after you curse and fuss, because here is the point. How many times can you explain yourself saying the same thing 10 different ways because they can't get it? You came this way. They didn't get it. You came this way. They didn't get it. You came that way. They didn't get it. So guess what? Either they're intellectually stumped, or again, their minds were made up. Nothing you say is going to convince me or change how I feel about him, her, them, or it. And so you will save yourself some time, energy, and frustration if you just say, okay, okay. And your okay or your thank you or your goodbye will probably frustrate them. But that's why you have the ability to ignore a text message or ignore a phone call or push the ignore button. And here it is. If people are sensitive because you ignore them, here it is. They don't pay your phone bill. I can ignore whoever I desire to ignore. And if I don't want to talk to you at 46 years old, I don't have to explain why I don't want to talk to you. Because number one, you stupid. That's number one, you stupid. Number two, you foolish. Number three, I don't have time to deal with that. So don't feel bad when you have to ignore some people, because guess what? Some people will frustrate you and have you about to pull your hair out, and you ignoring me. Because here it is. Marcus Cosby says, well, excuse me, Reverend Dr. Marcus Cosby says, know this, no response is a response. Let that free you up. Let that settle in your spirit. No response is a response. And here it is. You don't have to call me 5 times in a row as if to say, the more you call, I'm going to answer. You ain't got to text me 15 times. That's what that iPhone do not disturb button is for. It's for the phone and for me. You disturbing me, so I'm gonna help you understand that no, I don't want to be bothered. I don't like to be ignored. You ignoring me. You hung up in my face. No, I hung up in your ear. Your ear, not your face, your ear. Get it correct. Your ear, not your face. Don't lower yourself. Protect your peace. Protect yourself. Okay? All right. I'm almost done. I'm still in verse number 4. It says, do not answer a fool according to his foolishness or folly, or you yourself will be just like him. Number 2, watch this. Answering a fool entraps you into their foolishness. Answering a fool entraps you into their foolishness. Listen, understand this. Some people call you with the intention to argue. Some people text and say certain things that they know will trigger you into an argument. And if you don't have discipline and discernment, you will fall into their trap like a rat seeking cheese. So you have to control yourself and control your emotions, knowing that some people want to manipulate you into a fight, into an argument, into a dispute. He says, in essence, again, don't answer a fool based upon, watch this, his foolishness, because he says, guess what? You'll be just like him. And now we have one fool in a meeting, at home, at church, in the marketplace, fighting, being a fool. And then they will entrap you in their foolishness. And now you're going back with someone who is literally beneath your intellectual acumen. So now I'm looking at, come on, man. Come on, Doc. You too smart for that. You've been to the academy. You well read. You're well versed. You gonna argue with her? Huh? And especially in meetings, you have people who come to meetings with the mindset to, guess what? Because here it is, certain people know your weaknesses and what will trigger you. And some people want you to act up. I'm talking to pastors now, especially, or leaders in the ministry at church. There's always 1 or 2 fools in every ministry, in every church. And they'll always find a way to want to try to provoke you. And then when they bring you out of character, they say stuff like this: we can't work with her. But we can't work with him. He's hot-headed. He got a temper. That's because you're a damn fool. But I meant that. But you have to be careful because you will fall for that trap. And that trap is to get you to act out of character. They want you to act like that. They want you to lose your cool. You know how I know? Because people at Lions Unity used to trap me like that all the time. They knew I was hot-headed and hot-tempered and would say anything. And if I heard it, I was going to address it. And those same people would set that trap for me, and I'd fall for it every time, man. I'd fall for it every time. They would get me every time. And then one day God said, "You fighting with him? Come on, man. I put more in you than that." Because you get frustrated, you get angry. Hey man, what's wrong with you? You can't understand what I'm saying? You can't get it? And then Dr. Cosby said that to me in casual conversation. Jordan, know this: no response is a response. And here it is. When you allow people to entrap you into foolishness, you give them the mental control over you. They know if I say this, if I do this, if I bring this up, that's gonna set him off. That's gonna set her off. And here it is, you with your silly self. Guess what? You think because you went off and cursed and fussed and put him in his place, you think you have accomplished something. Watch this, church. It takes more strength to walk away than to respond. It takes more strength for you to walk away than to respond. It does. It takes more strength for you to walk away. Strong people walk away. Weak people have to respond to everything. And at one time, I was weak. It's called being transparent. One time, I was weak. And pastors, know one thing: don't fall for those traps in those deacons meetings, man. They come there trying to get you to say something stupid. Don't do that, though. Not all of them, just the no good ones. Church meeting, they want you to go off. Not all of them, just the messy ones, the no good ones. They want you to get out of character, but you have to pray for God to give you strength to say, okay. Because guess what, man? Let me tell you something. Bruh, sis, know one thing. They were who they were long before you came along. Not just at church, at home. Because guess what? You got some fools in your family. Let Medea die. Let mama die. Let dad die. It's going to be a fool somewhere in the siblings. It's going to be a fool somewhere in the family. Ain't got no money, but want to run something. Mama ain't been dead 5 minutes. She told me I could have the house. Ain't in the ground yet. Daddy told me I could have his truck. And now you mad, bereaved, grieving, frustrated, trying to argue with somebody who's hell-bent on being a fool. And so he says, listen here, you can't answer them. Hang the phone up. Don't return the message. Block them. Because you have to understand, your mental peace, your spiritual peace is better for you to listen, walk away. Because you have to protect yourself. And you got some folk right now plotting on you for work tomorrow. You got some folk plotting on you right now at the church. I'm going to say this, you say that, and I promise you, we'll will press her button. But when you learn to hear what they say, and then they ask you in the meeting, what's the response? God bless you. Are you going to defend yourself? Because no matter what I say, it's going to make you change how you feel about me. That's just going to frustrate me because I can't change your mind. So before I frustrate me and put my hands on you, God bless you. What's your response? God bless you. Okay. I don't have a response. Because guess what? It's already preconceived in your mind how you feel about me or this particular situation. So there's no need for us to waste any more time to go back and forth about this. You feel how you feel. You have that mental block and you aren't about to change. So why should I frustrate myself and waste my time trying to change how you feel? I don't get paid to change how you feel. I don't get paid to convince you. So you can't fall for that trap. Because here it is. Once you respond, now you're engaging in dialogue. And then one text will lead to an hour of testing about nothing. One response will lead to 10 minutes, hour, 30 minutes of you going back and forth. And guess what? After you've cussed and fussed and prayed and the meeting is over, guess what? They feel how they feel. And they are who they are. So you got to watch that. And again, it takes more strength to say, okay, after you have typed this long text message, this long email, I hope the Holy Ghost say, erase all that. Don't even respond. And then they'll say something like, did you get my message? I called you. I know you got my message. You can say okay or nothing at all. Again, Dr. Marcus Cosby said, no response is a response. And guess what? You can never misquote silence. See, some of y'all get messed up because you can't control this. And guess what? I'm talking from experience. But you cannot misquote silence. What did he say? Nothing. What? What did she say? Nothing. 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 So you mean to tell me you said A, B, C, D, and she said nothing? Nothing. What did he say? Okay. Okay. I mean, you shot at him like I told you to, and he said okay? That's all he said. And guess what? You have neutralized their attack. You have neutralized them from pulling you into something that you shouldn't even be in. Am I making sense? Talk to me now. Talk to me. Because this will literally frustrate you, especially if you work with them or if you lead them or if you see them often. Now, if I see you once every few months or once, whatever, I ain't thinking about you. I ain't thinking about you. One of my friends said to me recently, I text you and you don't respond. You ignored me. I said, I ignore everybody but Jesus. Sometimes. Sometimes, man. My mama and Jesus about the safest ones. Well, Nikki too. Depends upon if she ain't made me mad or something like that. Because you got to protect your mental peace, man. Because if you don't, you'll be somewhere on the edge. You'll be somewhere on the edge. I'm done. I'm gonna let y'all go tonight early. Uh, verse number 5. Answer a fool according to his folly. Yeah. Verse number 5. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own eyes. Do you see that? Watch this. Watch this, church. When you answer and argue with the fool, you make them seem sensible. When you answer and argue with the fool, you make them seem sensible. Which means you give weight to what they're saying. If you acknowledge what they're saying, you're giving weight to what they're saying. So now they've trapped you into an argument, and now you are arguing about something that ain't worth arguing about. But when you responded, you gave weight to what they were saying. So now they got you. Now you validate their foolishness. You make them seem sensible. But when you walk away, okay. Because here it is. They think you're being rude by ignoring them, but the foolish don't understand you're trying to protect your space, protect your peace, protect your spirit, protect your joy. And their foolishness is literally becoming contagious. That's the lesson tonight, y'all. This ain't hard, this ain't long, this ain't deep. Stop responding. You don't have to respond. Dr. F.D. Sampson says, a dog can't chase every rabbit. You can't respond to every rumor. You can't respond to everything people say about you or say to you. You will literally deplete yourself of everything in you trying to deplete. Because if you're a part of a black church, you either gonna be gay, sleeping with him, her, or them, stealing money, or drunk. That's pretty much it. Because you know, in the Black Baptist Church is either gay, adultery, alcohol, or thief. That's the big folk. And usually the folk who are accusing you probably gay, them stole money, been slept around, and been a drunk. Go figure. So guess what? Stop. 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 Don't give way to their foolishness. Don't give way to their foolishness, man. Because here it is. Once you argue with them, you make them seem intelligent. And the verse prior says, now we don't know who the fool is. Are you the fool or is she the fool? Because she was foolish first, and now you arguing with her. Now you sound about as dumb as she sounds. Because you're trying to make a dummy understand your point of view. It ain't happening. She was dumb before she got there. Limited, stupid. She's still using a typewriter. Yeah. She still got tapes and 8 tracks. I'm not saying them people stupid, but I'm just saying you trying to argue, you using a Mac Apple computer trying to argue with somebody who pecking on a typewriter. Beneath you. And you will save yourself from for some frustration, man. Say, fight by yourself, child. And if you really want to make them mad, let them go at you. Let them say what they're going to say. Let them go at you, man. And then you just say, okay, are you done? Thank you so much. I appreciate your opinion. Thanks. Okay, we're good here? Okay. And I promise you, that's going to light a fire in them. You have ignored 10 minutes of their ranting about nothing. You did this and you said that, and I heard you said this, and I feel like this, and you did this and you did that, and you did, and you say, okay, bless you, man. Yeah, all right. Okay, let's go down. Don't give way to that, man. Don't give way to that. I promise you, you'll sleep better. Okay? I'm done. That's the lesson tonight. Let me end tonight by saying this. Stand up against racism. And don't be that desperate for white approval that you ignore the death and the deaths of George Floyd and others who have died. Dr. West said today that some black folk will not fight racism because they like when white folk like them. I ain't anti-white, but I am pro-black. And to every white friend, every white clergyman, every white pastor and politician, it's time that you stand up and open up your mouth and say, this is wrong. What happened yesterday in Minneapolis was wrong. And if you're white, you can't walk that fine line. And let me say this to friends. If you're a part of an interracial church and your pastor or pastors are white, and if they don't mention this in their pulpits, that means they are ignoring your pain and your community. If your white pastor, black man, black woman, does not mention George Floyd, Big Floyd, who was killed for no reason yesterday, trust me, when it happens to your husband, your son, your daughter, they won't say anything then. You need to hold your white preacher, your white pastors at First Baptist and so community church accountable. And for them who say, I don't see color, no. You ain't gonna get off that easy. Because to ignore color is to ignore my experience, to ignore my pain, to ignore my fallen brothers and sisters who died for nothing because some scared white man with a gun thought his badge could take the rights of other people. And it might be time for the black pulpit, the black preacher, to go back to black prophetic preaching. Because right now, a new house, a new car, how to get some more money. Nah, we beyond that, bro. Sis, we beyond that. Money coming to me now, whatever. We have to empower our people to stand up for our people. and stop making excuses for senseless violence. And so, to all of you who are in the marketplace, corporate America, for your white friends who say, I don't see color, check them. Check them. To your little white neighbors who don't see color, check them. No, you see it. Because not to see color is to ignore hundreds of years of injustice toward black and brown people. And in case they use the black on black crime card, there's also white on white crime, black on white crime. But watch this. Those who commit black on black crime were not sworn to take an oath to protect and serve their communities, regardless of race, color, and creed. Every cop. And for those of you who are going to tell me they are, Pastor, all cops ain't bad. I realize that there are some good cops, but let me ask you a question. Where are all the good cops when Negroes are being killed? I'm done. But if you got a black son, a black husband, a black son-in-law, a black daughter, Sandra Bland, and other black females who were killed in their own home in Fort Worth, in Minnesota, stand up for something. And don't be passive about this. Say what you feel. Feel what you say. Talk to your sons. Talk to your daughters. Because know one thing. When a racist cop sees you, he could care less if you live behind the gate. He could care less if you went to Prairie View and you were a scholar at Harvard or Princeton or wherever you went. The cop could care less if you are a CEO or a doctor or a pastor. All they see is a nigga who they want to take out and then say he reached for a gun. I feared for my life. America, KKKKA, has yet to be united. We hold these truths that all men are created equal. One day, maybe we'll live to see that. I love you, church. Listen, give tonight if you haven't paid your tithes and offerings to our members. You have avenues to give, pay your tithes, pay your offerings. God honors and requires a cheerful giver. Amen. Listen, if the weather permits, Saturday, we'll have a food drive at the church, COVID-19 food giveaway at the church. If you have questions, please call James Joseph at 281-460-7375. All right, listen, Lions Unity, I shared some graphics on my page, on the church page. Listen, save those on your phone. Don't share what I shared, but also save them on your phone and post them on your personal page. So, yeah, save them on your phone, but share it, but also post it, And we're doing a Father's Day tribute to the fathers, Father's Day. So, yeah. So, if you want to give tribute to your father or your husband or whomever whatever. Yeah, whatever. click on the website and leave your words. Now, listen, say what you mean what you say, because it won't be edited. Now, if it's something crazy that you hate him or don't like, he ain't paying child support, that ain't gonna be on there. All right. So don't use us to get your child support money here. All right. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And may he give you peace. I bless your homes. I bless your families. I bless your health. And I bless your wealth. If you're having a hard time, press on, pray on, knowing one thing. Guess what? Trouble won't last always. I love you. I'll see you Sunday. Bye-bye.